It's Monday, and that means it's time to hear about all the great stuff that happened last week, because you can't only read the bad news. So here's just a partial list of some of the great things that did happen. Ron DeSantis' heavily rigged and deeply unfair congressional map got thrown out by the courts and must be redrawn. Texas eliminated its sales tax on menstrual products and diapers. A 3-judge panel threw out Alabama's deeply unfair maps. Also, by the end of 2026, the U.S. will have closed half of its coal generation capacity. Goldman Sachs downgraded the chances that the U.S. will slide into a recession. A recent paper from economists at Harvard finds that for every $1 the IRS spends on auditing the top 1%, they get back $6. Naloxone is now available over the counter. New York University is selling emergency contraceptives in 5 new vending machines. The country's largest municipal health system has announced that they have reduced their food-related carbon emissions by 36%. They did this by making plant-based food the default for inpatient meals. Conservation group purchased 2,000 captive white rhinos and is releasing them into the wild in Africa. Women in the Illinois trades will be getting job assistance funding from the federal government. Nebraska will be getting $11 million from the federal government to modernize their power grid and fight the climate crisis. Senator Maria Cantwell announced she will co-sponsor the Assault Weapons Ban Act, which means we only have 6 holdouts from the Democratic and Independent parties. Crew filed a lawsuit to get Trump off the ballot in Colorado. The Biden administration canceled the 7 remaining oil and gas leases in Alaska's Arctic refuge. The Biden administration also announced the extension of temporary protected status for South Sudan. The U.S. dollar extended its gains, sending the currency toward its longest rally in years. A Texas judge is making the government move their floating death barriers. The U.S. is giving Ukraine $5.4 million that was seized from Russian oligarchs. Trump's IT worker has struck a cooperation agreement with Jack Smith. Maine's puffin colonies are rebounding despite warmer water. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse filed an ethics complaint against Supreme Court Justice Alito. Mexico decriminalized abortion. Peter Navarro was convicted of contempt of Congress. The Senate confirmed Ana Gomez to the FCC, fully staffing Joe Biden's FCC for the first time since he was elected. Net neutrality, here we come. After intense advocacy by volunteers, California passed the Gun Violence Prevention and School Safety Act. Kroger has to pay $1.2 billion to settle opioid lawsuits. Deforestation alerts dropped by 66% in August in the Amazon. A judge blocked a Trump-era law allowing the logging of old-growth forests. New York banned captive audience meetings. Mark Meadows lost in court. Climate protesters shut down the U.S. Open for 49 minutes. And the term pro-life has become so politically toxic that Republicans want to scrap it. I keep going, but I'm actually out of space. You can read the whole list at the link in my bio, and don't forget to share. After all, what's the point in working so hard if we don't celebrate our wins?